Today we are having this session specifically for all of us for trading on the budget day, a guidelines to minimize our risk. So for this purpose, we have our experts, uh, Jatan, Kothari, and Vivek. Jatan is an engineer and a part-time options and swing trader, while Vivek is an ex-IIM Indore pass out. He had also worked with organizations like Goldman Sachs and the co-founder of VT Capital. Right.
Yeah.
So, welcome to our show, Vivek, Jatan. So,
Thank you, Shankar.
I put this question to both of you, but we'll go in a sequence. So we'll start off with Vivek. So, what is your expectation from this budget?
Well, see, I've recently written about it also that government will be under a lot of pressure to make this budget a little populist. Populist as in there will be a lot of, at least posturing to show the farmers that they are doing something. See, over the last 6-8 months, what you have seen is a lot of things have happened in Punjab and in UP and everywhere where the farmers' agitation has actually, kind of paralyzed the government in taking any decision. So this is the budget. Probably they'll try to set a lot of things right. And after this, after the budget, over the next 6, 7, 8 months, there are almost about 6 to 7 elections which are coming up, with the UP election being the biggest one. Now, in UP, the situation is such that the Western UP could be a very critical, situation, critical point for the government and for the UP government as well. So somewhere the farmer agitation is very strong there. Something they have to provide in the budget for the farmers, making it a little bit populist budget. First thing. Second thing is, I mean, it will depend upon how much they give, because after this, very soon there will be the Achar Sanghita will be imposed, and government will not be able to do anything over and above what they are doing now. They cannot come up with any specific scheme which the election commission or someone can argue against. So probably they'll try to do everything in the budget. Second thing will be that they have been talking about cutting down on the tax soaps. The tax collections have been very good last year, despite government rolling out a lot of temporary benefits to the industry. I think some of that will be taken back. I don't think they will try to touch the income, the personal income tax area. There's nothing to be done actually. Uh, they have they want to move into a system where the individual any individual does not have the various deductions that we used to have. So probably some announcements will be on that line as well, to reduce that the different types of deductions that we have, and probably come under only one single method, where the overall lines in the tax sheet reduces. So these are few broader points that I'm seeing. So budget overall will be a little populist, and if the government does not, bow before the bow to the pressures of the election, then probably we
Yes,
are going to have a very good budget.
yes, what you said is right, and I agree with you. Especially when, if you look at the rate hikes which Fed is going to come up with, if that happens, India would also by default will have to go in for rate hikes. And if they go in for rate hikes, they need higher tax collection. They just can't. Yeah, I think what you're saying is right. What's your view, Jatan?
I agree with, Vivek, whatever he said, that this is going to be a populist budget. considering the elections coming. Only thing we need to watch out is there shouldn't be, I mean, anything negative on the side of corporate. I don't think so they will do it, but that would be the part that we would be looking, because definitely they're not going to be any negative news on the farmer side or anything that affects their winning. I mean, chances of winning or anything on the election side. So it our focus should be on the negative side, because positive everyone is expecting that okay something it would be positive, but how we take on the I mean counts the negative point, that also we need to be aware of, that there shouldn't be anything negative. Otherwise it would be good that we won't see major downside. uh, I mean, as I don't see any negative as of now because of the election things.
One is the elections, and also again, if you look at IMF growth story, IMF is saying that they're expecting India to grow around, I think 9%, if I'm not
Yeah,
wrong.
for this year, 9%.
For this year,
Approximately
9%,
9%. Yeah.
right, right.
Yeah, GDP for that, yes.
So if they come up with something negative, too much negative for the corporates, this growth momentum may stop, and I doubt they are going to do that. You know?
Yeah, I don't think so they will do that.
So
So
one thing that the corporates will have to face in the next few months is that as and when as you have also mentioned that as and when our Fed starts to hike rates, the impact on the bond yields have started to show.
mhm,
So the short
mhm.
term yield rates are already going up for the corporates. They are already under pressure in that sense. So I think you're right that probably government will not try to do something which kind of complicates the problems for corporates who would be under pressure because of the rising rates for
Right.
FY22. Yeah, I agree with that.
So Jatan, to you, what are the markets looking like for the budgets in terms of charting? What
So
are your
actually,
charts saying?
in terms of charting and the data, so if you look at the Nifty, people have, I mean, the position that built up is like at the money put and little bit in the money put writing also you can see on 17,314, 17,400. So looks like that maybe people has taken the bullish view for before the budget. Maybe we can see little bit volatility after the budget announcement or what happens. I mean, after the ma'am start speaking, but before that budget time, I mean, like before she starts, it's like we can see little bit upside on the market, and then based on the how the sentiments, I mean, it's after the speech, then we can see that time data built up. But as of now, the chart looks bullish, and the data also looks bullish. Bank Nifty also like it had a support, and I mean, even after the today's dip, it didn't break that support that it I mean that was formed 2 days before. I mean, it broke that 37,000. Let's just me that 37,800 was the resistance before. 7,800, 37,700 and 800 was the resistance before. So it's respecting that. So as of now, I don't see any weakness on the chart and the data, but yeah, that can change anytime, right? I mean, after the budget announcement or anything. So we need to watch it out carefully. But yeah, for the morning hours before the budget, it looks bullish.
Yes, and it was very interesting to watch Bank Nifty, especially the way it came down in the morning and touched the 5 DMA, and all your most of the DMAs are there only 5 and 100. So from there, it took support and moved up that way.
Yeah.
Very true. Vivek, what's your take on open interest? So what are the open interest build up telling us for Nifty and Bank Nifty? But I think we missed. I think Vivek is not there right now. So Jatin, what's your take on Nifty and Bank Nifty in terms of option chain? What are the option chains? Okay, same.
So
Vivek, you can
right.
also,
So
yeah.
for for immediate tomorrow, as of now, what the data is saying that probably we are not going down. 17,000 for Nifty is a very, very strong support. Even today, there have been a lot of writing uh, puts on the 17,000 level. And overall data, even if you see that 17,000 is going to hold, I don't know. I mean, as of now, it is looking like that. And until unless something bad comes up in the budget, probably we are going higher. For the month also, we are seeing that the max. I mean, there's a lot of put writing which has happened in 17,500 levels. That means that at least, I mean, market close at 17,339, but you can see that a lot of writing, put writing has happened on 17,500. Even as of now, you can see that there is about 2.8 million puts standing on 17,500, which is giving it a lot of strength. Now, the other thing is that because IVs have been rising, this could be a lot of put instead. I mean, the open interest that has increased could be because of buying as well. But yeah,
Yes.
but there's a very high chance that these are mostly the long puts, and at least for the near term, at least before the budget ends, we are probably not going to go lower. Budget, I mean, until unless budget gives something very drastically negative, market wants to go higher. That's visible as per levels as well. Open interest data, I think before budget could be a little dicey because of the IV rise. If IVs fall, then you can always say that there's more, I mean, aggressive call writing going on. Because of the IV rise, because of the event, it gets a little dicey. But if you go and check this on the technical charts as well, we are seeing that there's a lot of support comes every time market goes near 17,000. So I think for now we are going to protect 17,000, and Nifty is kind of in an oversold territory. So there is a possibility of a good possibility of a decent bounce back to about 17,600. So that's my view. In the near term, I'm kind of bullish, but as the month ends, possibly, and also because by the time month ends, there will be a lot more chatter about Fed increasing rates in March, and until unless there's a downtick in the inflation curve for US, probably the risk for our markets is also going to increase. On the same note, if you see the Dow Jones chart, Dow Jones also took a support around 34,000. It's a very critical support for them, and they have bounced from there. So until unless that 34,000 support is broken, most of the world is safe. If 34,000 breaks, then the pressure will be felt across different indices across the world.
And I'm not really not sure. Is it the global market which is moving up or Nifty because of budget? Sometimes I get confused. So like that at least shows us that globally, you know, we are somewhere bottomed out and now we are moving up. And Nifty and Bank Nifty is supportive. Uh, Jatan, this question is to you now. Any sectoral view for this budget? Any specific sectors which are looking like, you know,
Uh,
bullish or
I
bearish?
PSU, I mean, from technical point of view, PSU banks are looking good. I mean, I already had position in that. So, I mean, those are moving well from last week itself. So, there is one sector that I would eye, and other one is auto sector that is also looking good. Some of like Tata Motors was good today. I mean, it has results, but other some stocks are also looking good from that particular sector. Like Maruti did break out, and after that, I mean, it's sustaining above that breakout. So that is also one good, I mean, counter in that particular sector. So overall, these two things themes are looking good as of now. But I mean, we can have eye on other stocks as well, like I mean, related to agris or that benefits. I mean, as the budget comes. So I mean, we can have eye on those sector as well.
Thank you, Jatin. Vivek, what's your take? PSU
So,
banks and all.
yeah,
all.
Jatin mentioned that I'm also, there's a fundamental story why banks should be doing well, which I mentioned earlier also, that the short term rates are increasing, and see, when short term rates increase, but there is not actual increase by the RBI governor, the banks get a window where they are making more NIMs, more higher margins basically. Okay, so their cost of capital is still low, while they are getting while the new loans that they'll be disbursing will be at a higher rate. So you can see that fundamentally also banks have a reason to rally, and because PSU banks have been trading at a very still trading at a very cheap valuation as compared to other banks, other,
Valuation.
yeah, private banks. While if you see their books have kind of cleaned, and now the new NPAs that are forming up will take time, and they are all set to lend higher with a better yield for themselves. One thing is that, so I'm bullish on banks and more on PSU banks, but I wouldn't like to have them in my portfolio. Still, I would go with some option strategies which is bullish on them. Like I like Canara Bank. Structure wise, also it has broken out of today itself above 246. This is very good for 270, 280 kind of levels. Other CNX Energy has been doing pretty well, but now it has uh, you know um, retraced a lot now. But if you see the chart now, it is trying to again form take some support and bounce back. Once that happens, I am still bullish on CNX Energy. Of this, you can see BPCL is bouncing back, and I think BPCL has the capacity to do about 5-7% from here itself. CNX Energy, actually, if you see on the daily chart, it is forming a small cup and hand. It's forming a decent cup and handle, formation, and above that, there's a good 10-12% kind of rally which is possible. So you can pick stocks from this sector for the next 10-15 days or so.
Okay. And how about pharma? And if
Pharma,
pharma,
we are not. It does not look good. Still, it does not look good. There's a bounce from the low, from the recent lows, but it needs to do a lot of work before something substantial happens here. The best case scenario is pharma index may rally about 2-3% higher, but nothing more. I
Yeah,
mean, if
most of
the,
the
yeah, full
most of the
market supports, then probably it will rally a bit, but the structure is not good.
Acha, okay, okay, great. Structure is more like a falling structure. How about IT? IT index.
IT has bounced back from a very strong support level, but see, the support was violated, and the current bounce back, in my view, is more like see, IT has again structural headwinds for them. Whenever interest rates go higher, every growth oriented company, okay, and you have a lot of companies in IT which are trading at a higher multiple because we are expecting uh, you know very high growth rates from them. So whenever yields 10-year yields rises, all the IT companies, all the growth oriented companies face headwinds. Their profits will be under pressure, and because you are giving them a very high multiple, it will always fall below what the market is expecting, or what the analysts have factored in while creating their DCF sheets. So IT is giving a bounce back right now, but this bounce back is kind of a dead cat bounce back. It should take some. It will be under resistance very soon. It is. Yeah. I don't think it should rise much from here, maybe another 2-3% again on the IT index. Individual names can do a little better or a little worse, but IT should be going down further.
Okay. Okay, great. So now we have like seen most of the different sectors and the views for that. But you're saying for the budget, maybe these sectors may rally up to 2-3%, and after that, we don't know. We have to refer back again to the charts. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, see, Nifty. Um, so for now, IT and Bank Nifty both are showing a little positive, momentum for couple of days maybe. So Nifty should be outperforming Bank Nifty for now, and once slowly Bank Nifty should start to outperform Nifty as IT will again start to underperform. This is what is the premise on which I am like betting on.
Right. No, you're absolutely right on this. Jatan, it's now I'll take it to you. See, today VIX was up. I mean, quite up. Matlab, it's over
Yeah,
6% up.
6% up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with this kind of increased volatility, what should be the kind of strategy which people play on?
So basically, I mean, you can do any. Basically, I mean, what I will do, I will tell that. So I won't do any naked things before the budget. I mean, basically, it's like volatility will be there, might be sideways, but after the budget, I won't be going for option buying because the premiums are so high. So definitely there will be like a premium decay in that. So strategies would be like if someone is, I mean, can do the option selling, they can do far OTM with, I mean, less quantity. I mean, because I mean the chances of hitting the stop loss would be high because of the volatility or any side move. Generally, like you can see 200 points or 300 points candle easily in Bank Nifty, or more than 100 points candle, single candle in Nifty, 5 minutes kind of candle. So to avoid those that thing, the better is like you don't go naked option buying. First thing is that will definitely will go, I mean, give the loss after the budget if you see that. Until and unless we don't see that last year kind of 4% or that sort of move, that is like not happens every time. It's like I mean once in a while. But otherwise, if it is like a 1 or 2% in a range, then you will see loss in the option buying strategy. So you should not do for the option buying. And option selling also, even you, if like someone don't have the margin and they want to go for option buying, they should be considering the spreads or ratio spread. So if you do the ratio spreads also or the spreads, uh, and you catch the direction, so because of the theta decay in the OTM and the option buying that you are doing will go in the, I mean, favor. So it's like you will get benefit with the ratio spread and the spread. But a naked option buying, I won't suggest. You can do the naked option selling as well, but that is like you should be having some experience with the option selling, that how far you are selling, that what is the stop loss you are keeping, because tomorrow stop loss will be wide definitely for some time. Once the IV start decreasing and the premium start decreasing, the it may increase your stop loss, I mean the range, but initially you have to take care. So I mean these are the strategies that I would prefer. I mean based on the direction, I may create the ratio spread, or generally I prefer option selling, but many people are not, I mean that they don't prefer the selling. So for them, they can go with the option buying spread or the ratio spread.
Okay. Now, let me just share this with all our audience today. Whatever we are sharing and discussing here, these are not recommendations at all, and these are only and only for knowledge purpose. It's nothing more than that. And the views here are expressed of the, I mean, guests' views are completely their personal one, and they are also sharing this only for your upgradation of knowledge. So, Vivek, what would be your kind of right strategy for tomorrow?
So I've also created few ratio spreads where like 17,600 के calls buy करके 17,750 के दो calls या तीन calls sell किया हुआ है.
Hello.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I guess we lost him.
yeah. Because even for me also the Twitter crashed twice today.
Yeah, it happens with Twitter Space a lot.
So Vivek,
Yes.
Vivek is back.
Yeah, Vivek is back.
Vivek, you can unmute Can you unmute yourself, please?
Yeah, sorry. I've also gone for ratio spreads where I've bought 17,600 calls and 17,750 k multiple calls right kiya hai. So again, as you have already mentioned, disclaimer is that this is just for learning purpose. This particular spread, this ratio spread is giving me a good upside, like 3-4% का ऊपर में protection दे रहा है, जहां I can, if after budget it looks like the market is going to go higher, I can do a lot of things. I can sell a put, at an OTM put, or I can also buy far expiry calls, which will kind of, keep the structure such that it sustains the rally if at all it happens, and there will be a benefit of the decay which will happen tomorrow, as IVs should crash. Most of the time IVs crash if after the events. Very rarely we have seen that even after the events the IVs have risen. Why? Because something has happened, and which was very out of the blue, and markets kind of took off either on the bull side or the bearish side, like on the top, on the higher side or the lower side. Most of the time IVs crashes after the event, and that should happen tomorrow as well. So that will give me a lot of scope, a lot of area where I can put my adjustments. First thing is that. Second thing is I've also gone for calendar spreads, where I have sold Feb straddles, and I've longed them up with March strangles. That way, the structure is such that on Nifty, I'm protected for next 4% on the upside and almost 4% on the downside. So the total range is about 8%. Uh, Within that range, I am comfortable. I don't think that the market is going to crash completely, or it is going to see going higher, like will face a lot of trouble until unless something really good comes up. And if it is so, then we can obviously manage. And that's why I've taken a monthly calendar spreads, so that we have got enough time to manage them, and the the yield is also good. So it's like about I've 2.3. I've done it only for 4 lots, and it takes about 2.3 lakhs. And on that, your maximum gain is about 1 lakh approximately, which is 50%. Obviously, that is not going to come, but you can easily expect 4-5% to 8-9%, depending upon how the market behaves from such strategies.
Especially when, let's say, after our honorable finance minister starts speaking, so the IVs are going to crash.
Yeah.
So what kind of strategy one can look at that time? Instead of writing, can someone that point of time at least look at buying, and of course like spreads? What do you suggest?
See, if the direction is clear, so let's say finance minister starts speaking, and you see that so whether on the downside or on the upside. So I'm assuming if your sense of direction is clear, then you can go deep in the money and buy. There you won't face the issue of that obviously the impact of volatility will be there, but it will be lesser as compared to if you're doing this in the ATM options or the OTM options. So that you can do. Generally, people don't prefer it until there's a very strong down move or the up move. we don't prefer buying. You play with the spreads. That's the best scenario. People who have less capital, they should play with spreads. Don't play naked, as Jatin also mentioned. Don't play naked, or if you are willing to play naked, because naked option buying also has some benefits. So if you are willing to play naked, then go with very very conservative position sizing. If you don't make money in one day, आप एक बार में ऐसे भी अगर आप टाटा बिरला बनने का सोच रहे हो तो वो नहीं बनने वाले हो. सो अपना रिस्क, अपना पोर्टफोलियो, अपना कैपिटल देख करके उसके हिसाब से बाइंग करो. और अगर नॉर्मल डेज में 4 लॉट बाई करते हो तो इस बार सिर्फ 1 लॉट बाई करो एंड सी हाउ इट परफॉर्म्स. बहुत ज्यादा तुरंत में बहुत ज्यादा एक्साइटेड होके बहुत लॉट्स एक बार में बाई करना, आई थिंक पीपल हैव लॉस्ट ह्यूज मनी बिकॉज ऑफ दैट. वो जो एक फोमो वाला टाइप एक फोमो आ जाता है उसकी वजह से. सो अवॉइड दैट एटलीस्ट ऑन क्रेजी volatility days like tomorrow as it is expected.
It's so true, so true. So Jatan, can you tell us like how should we keep managing our risks?
So, like Vivek said, we shouldn't be jumping. So, generally, what retails, or I mean, I also used to do in my initial years is like when we see some announcement from like Madam or FM, right? So, what happens is you will see sudden spike in the candles. So, it may be like a big red candle or a big green candle, and sometimes it's on the sector also. Like you are seeing that okay, something is good for this sector, and people start jumps and buy so many lots of that particular counter or like index that I mean even I have seen feedback from people that they bought 10 lots, and they were like not managing the risk. They just said saw that okay, this is a big green candle, so it's going to be up only. But that is just a spike, and it happens once the news come out. So let's get it settled, and after once you take the position also, like whatever you are buying, right, do it's like half the quantity, and once you are clear about the direction or that it's going, you can increase the quantity. Because initially you have to go with your SL would be definitely wide, I mean tomorrow, because of the volatility. So like you are buying 10 lots, go with 5 lots, or you are going with 2 lots, go with 1 lots initially. And once you have conviction and that okay, this is going in favor, you can slowly increase your risk, but not in the first go.
Yes, so true. And the funniest part, if someone is already has kept a position, and when there is a sudden spike in the futures or in the cash, option premiums I've seen, it doesn't change much. It stays so constant. So, I mean, they feel that it's so trapped. I mean, it has happened with me personally. So, in my beginning days when I started, so I can relate to what you said. It's better to stay out for some time and or trade with lesser quantity. So, Vivek,
Yeah.
overall, you see the VIX has increased. Of course, post budget, post the complete when the event is over. How
Yeah.
should one trade? Because the volatility has also increased, and it will just not become zero. So it will still be there. So how should one trade? What kind of strategies should look well? I mean, writing, buying.
So see, data, as I said, that as of now, data is looking a little bullish. But if you see overall headwinds in the markets, uh, it there's a very it will be very difficult for the market to keep moving up from here. Even if we don't fall, probably we will keep on like oscillating between a certain range. So if you can define a range looking at the charts, okay, where you find maximum support and where there has been a very decisive, a very clear resistance, one can go and sell strangles over there. Second thing you can do is ratio spreads again work very well in scenarios where you are like that you're not going to violate a certain level. So let's say if I'm seeing that probably 17,600, crossing 17,600 and sustaining above that will be very difficult for the markets from here on. So I can simply buy 17,500 call and sell 17,600 two lots, or 17,700 three lots, something like that we can do. And once if technically we are proven wrong that the market is actually rising beyond the levels which we were expecting, then probably there you can either adjust that or simply take off your trade and place a new trade depending upon the new data and levels that you can do. Second thing is, will the volatility go down? Yes, for the time being the volatility should go down, but there's a lot of, see, uh, why rate hike is very, I mean, this Fed rate hike, is the impact of that is not going to go away, is because our world in the last 10 years has taken a lot of debt. Okay, so a lot there are companies, there are countries where the debt level is like 2x 3x of what their GDP is. Even for US, the corporate debt is 300% of their GDP. It has never been so in the last 50 100 years, whatever history we have got right now. It has never been the case. So if anyone is thinking that फेड रेट हाइक का हो गया, अभी एक बार ये लोग बोल दिए जो भी हो रहा है, बट इसका जो इम्पैक्ट आने वाला है वो इम्पैक्ट काफी लंबा जाने वाला है. अगर 25 बेसिस पॉइंट्स भी जब रेट हाइक होता है तो उसकी वजह से जो
I think Vivek is having some issue. He's just going to join back. So that is very true. I think the message which is coming across from you, Jatin, and yeah, so from you primarily is, as well as from Vivek, that the resistance, there are a lot of resistance around. So how would you, what would be your choice, Jatin?
Sorry, I didn't get your questions. I mean,
suppose the volatility, so suppose the budget as an event, after it gets over, how should we look at the markets and how should we start trading?
So, I mean, generally, what I do is we get the budget, it's in the budget, right? So, based on that, you can create your watch list. Basically, which sectors, like for IT generally, if you know that it doesn't get anything from the budget, right? So that is like it has its own things that has nothing to do with the budget, right? So I mean that you can like separate out from the budget, but other themes that are like depends on the budget, whether there is any incentive for particular sector or not, so that you can keep eye on that particular sector, not the particular day. You can like just jump on to that and start trading if something is not like I mean very good. Otherwise you can have the, okay, this sector is like going to be benefit, so keep some, I mean, give some time that if I talk from the technical perspective, that gives some time that volatility to get settled. And if it looks that okay, the market is digesting that news positively or negatively, accordingly you can create the position, because end of the day you will see that news is digested, whatever, like it's a positive or negative news. So based on, and that will reflect on the chart, and you can take your positions accordingly. Not necessary that you need to create a position just after the speech.
Right. So you're saying just wait after, when I post that, after your budget trade is over, one should wait on the side and maybe look at next day after the volatility reduces, the jerks are over, and then look at putting in. There's one question which has come, which is like, should we change the time? That is like for intraday traders, so people who trade intraday and they want to play on the budget. So they are asking like, if should we look at 3 minutes, if someone is looking at 3 minutes time frame, should they step up and use 5 minutes charts, or someone who is using 5 minutes chart should step down to 3 minutes charts?
No, 3 minutes and 5 minutes is really less on the events like tomorrow. I mean, because in 5 minutes your target may hit or your stop loss may hit twice like that. So that is really short time frame to look at on the chart. I mean, because the candles would be big. So I would suggest better to look on the. I mean, if you are looking for intraday positional with wider stop loss, you can go with the like at least 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes would be nice. 5 minutes would be, I mean, normal days we use 5 minutes, but for the event days, I generally look for at least 2 to 3 candles, even for 5 minutes. Then I take my positions.
That's around 15 minutes candle.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, right. Vivek, what would be your advice to the retail traders for tomorrow? Your final advice to all the retail traders who are listening to you tomorrow.
So try to try to be on the safe side with a lesser position. Don't take very uh, aggressive bets tomorrow. There will be another days as well. Tomorrow will simply frustrate you because there's a very high probability that you will go wrong. Reason being, it's not like you will go wrong, like you'll put the trade and you'll go wrong. The problem will be you will probably see profit, and that profit will immediately turn into losses. It has happened very because a lot of things are already priced in the market, and in events such as budget, you never know that what is priced in and what is not. So the asymmetry of information is very high tomorrow, and even if you are trying to do it with charts, you have to be very very careful while doing it. Try with a very small quantity if you are starting out. Don't jump on what if let's say the FM says that we have got a very nice package for real estate. Don't just jump on and buy every real estate company at that point of time. This is my personal mistake that happened like 6, 7, 8 years back, when I bought DLF, and DLF crashed like 7% after FM announced that they have got a very good package for the real estate companies. So these are the things, and there will be more days once events. See, generally what happens, we have a habit of jumping into some trades. If we are seeing some opportunity, we want to encash that as soon as possible. But many a time, as we call in business circles, that second mover advantage is also there. It's not always that first mover has all the advantages. Second movers also have advantages. So once the trend is set for the day, that market has made up a mind that it is going to go up, or the market has made up a mind that it is going to go down, at that point of time, go with a higher quantity. Most likely you will succeed. If like पहले वो आकर के बजट से पहले ही बोलना शुरू किया, और you started anticipating and putting your trades, there's a very high chance that either your stop loss goes, or your day ends not that good. So yeah.
Thank you, Vivek. I still remember, sometimes, the mistake which happens, people trade intraday using news flows. And I have seen people getting ruined because of that. Like you said, they gave very good news for, it was a good news for the, housing sector.
Yeah.
But instead of moving up, it started moving down. If someone would have followed charts, yeah, and if someone would have followed charts, they would have actually went short.
No, actually, what happens, what Jatan has also pointed out, that as soon as the FM says that there's a package for, let's say, PSU banks, or let's say farmers, not farmers, let's say fertilizer companies, okay, they are doing something for the seed companies, vagara, vagara, you will see that all of a sudden there's a very high spike. A green candle formed, and it will be above the previous level.
Yes, it moves above the previous highs and then creates a long tail. above, and that's very scary.
Yeah, I guess we lost him again.
Yeah. So, okay, Jatin, what would be your final advice to all the traders who are listening to you today?
So my advice would be like same what Vivek said, that go with the less quantity. As I mean, so for example, you want to take 5,000 risk. Okay, I mean on something that is I mean like 100 quantities, you want to take 550 rupees risk, right? It would be like 500 50 rupees with 50 rupees stop loss, right? 5,000 risk you want to take. So reduce the quantity and take the same. I mean, put the stop loss wider, because tomorrow, I mean, it's high probability that your stop loss will get hit. So with the same risk, you can reduce. I mean, you can widen your stop loss and go with the lesser quantity. So that is how I mean it's a better way to approach that. Go with the lesser quantity and wider stop loss, so that it doesn't get hit easily in the volatility.
Great. So, thank you very much, Jatin, for your time. Vivek, thank you very much for sharing so many insights with us. We learned today that the markets, we are expecting something popularist budget maybe, but still it will be bullish for the market. And after a certain upside movement, like we have seen in the open interest, which both Vivek and Jatin had explained, that there will be a good resistance on the upside. And from there, maybe we may get to see some correction, but we may not. So we have to be prepared for all and keep on monitoring our charts, our indicators, and play safe. Uh, like I think Vivek said that one should not get into the FOMO thing, that we fear of losing out. That it's okay. One day if you don't trade, if you missed out the trade, it's okay. One day if you trade with lesser quantity, it's absolutely fine. And one day if you hedge your position, that's great, like Jatin said. So keep hedging and be safe tomorrow. But do make money. So we have overall a great Indian outlook. For India is very good. Globally, the jitters will always be there. So for investors, the story is different. But for traders, like Vivek and Jatin both said, be cautious, manage your risk. That's the story about today. Right, Jatin, Vivek?
Yeah, risk
Absolutely.
management is the key for tomorrow. For tomorrow, I mean, the best thing you can do is manage your risk.
Yes. So thank you, Vivek. Thank you, Jatin, for sharing your experience with us and making us cautious. And thank you, lovely audience who are there today attending this show of ours today. Do write to us. Do attend many of these budget sessions which we are conducting now. And do write to us, direct message us. You can direct message us, Jatin, Vivek. You can direct message me and Paytm as well. And we will definitely be in touch with you, and we are always there to help you. Thank you very much. Have a great trading session tomorrow.
Thank
All
you.
the
Thank
best.
you so much for giving
Thank
us
you,
the
everyone.
opportunity. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Harsh, for organizing this